revelation of Jesus Christ. As obedient children, do not be conformed to the passions of your former ignorance, but as he who called you in holy, but as he who called you is holy, you also be holy in your conduct. Since it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. And if you call on him as Father, who judges impartially according to each one's deed, conduct yourselves with the fear throughout the time of your exile, knowing that you were ransomed from the futile ways inherited from your fathers, not with perishable things such as silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Christ.
Your forefathers.
Like that of a lamb without blemish or spot. He was foreknown before the foundation of the world, but he was made manifest in the last times for the sake of you, who through him are believers in God, who raised him from the dead and gave him glory, so that your faith and hope are in God. Having purified your souls by your obedience to the truth, for a sincere brotherly love, love one another earnestly from a pure heart, since you have been born again, not of perishable seed, but of the imperishable, through the living and abiding word of God. For all flesh is like grass, and all its glory like the flower of grass. The grass withers, and the flowers falls, but the word of the Lord remains forever. And the word is the good news that was preached to you. Well, I just want to say, and I'd like to ask you too, Christina, and if you want to talk about it. I know when I consciously, not just because I was raised a certain way, became a Christian. And it was like the sensation I remember, because my best friend at the time gave me a Bible. And it was like a world opened up. And it wasn't, it was more than, I was a reader. I knew a lot of things, unquote. And there was a lot of things that I didn't know. And one of them was something actually a scientist said that I always thought was so important. Heisenberg, who said, the observation of something shows what you can understand and what you cannot. So anyone can be drilled into an ideology, a belief. I mean, children are born and they basically become in relation to their parents. As they grow older, they become more individuals. And becoming a Christian, not just because I'm kind of going to change, but really wanting to read the Word, that was a new experience. Christina?
Well, I know as a kid, the only thing I had was God on my side. And I didn't know what it was. I just accepted it. And it protected me from my surroundings. So I knew it was good, and I knew it wasn't leading me down the wrong path, because the wrong path was in front of me 24/7. And it taught me a lot, be patient and be kind. And I did do a lot of observing of people. And, you know, you don't get the full picture of the individual when you watch them, but you do get an insight a little to their personality. So, you know, that was my favorite pastime, was to sit back and just watch and not participate. So, you know, there's a lot to be said about that as well. And then, you know, there's people, you know, really shun at people who are standoffish and shy and don't want to participate. You know, they put a lot of labels on that, and you know, it is what it is. But you need to be yourself, and you need to be okay with who you are, and not listen to the outside forces telling you what you should be or how you should feel and what you should do. You need to focus in on who you truly are and figure out what that seed is inside you that really makes you you. So I think that's where Peter is going to take us to something deep within us that we need to really understand, really focus on, and reconnect to where we first started, which was not in the womb of our mother. We started before that, and that's what God keeps telling us. He knew us before we became human. So we really need to refocus on where we came from before we were us, and, you know, reconnect with that.
Very good, very well said. And just for the audience's sake, if you go to the relationship between David and God speaks of that, of knowing David before. So predestination is not how a lot of people think, where it's all a one-way street. You know, people could say, well, gee, you know, God made Judas a certain way. Look what he did. It wasn't his fault. You know, he was programmed. But that's not what it says in the Old Testament, interesting enough. Predestination and foreknowledge and those kinds of things is, as you can read in the relationship of David to God, was a two-way street. So I just thought I'd point that out based on what Christina has said, that, you know, there's more to us than we are consciously aware of in the surroundings we are. And as you grow older, you become more of an individual, and you learn these things, or you have the ability to if you want to, and it changes everything. So, all right, well, let's go on. Would you like to do one more chapter, Christina?
Yeah, we can do one more.
So put away all malice and all deceit and hypocrisy and envy and all slander like newborn infants. Long for the pure spiritual milk, that by it you may grow up into salvation. If indeed you have tasted that the Lord is good. As you come to him, a living stone who juxtaposed